Here's the next one. Look around. You might have overlooked some people that need to be recognized. You might have overlooked some talent that you could be using to help in the training and conduct meetings. Don't miss some of the gifts that are close by you. Look around and say, who's doing a good job that maybe I've missed this last year? Look around and see if there aren't some people who need to be lifted up, who need your inspiration, who need your presence, who need your time. Here's the next one. Look down to the work. Look down to the soil that's ready for the seeds of opportunity that you will share by your voice and your invitation and your language and your meetings, your presentation. Look down to the work that your hands can work miracles. Look down to the task and see if there aren't some things you might have missed this past year you can pick up on this year and work miracles for yourself, for your future, for your organization. Here's the next one. It's a word of caution. Look out for the enemy that's on the outside as well as the enemy that's on the inside. Look out for your own thoughts that might deceive you, saying you're too short, you're too tall, you're too old, you've never done it before. What makes you think you can do it now? Look out for the temptation. I've told the story and it bears repeating. An ancient story that said there were two nice people. This is not a story of one bad person and one good person. The storyteller says this is a story of two nice people. However, and I want you to underline the word however, because that's the drama of life. However, one built his house on the rock, and the other built his house on the sand. And sure enough, the storms came as they always do, and the one that built his house on the rock was saved. The one that built his house on the sand was lost. Here's what it means. Nice people can make careless decisions. Nice people can make foolish decisions. None of us are above temptation. That's why the great prayer says, lead us around temptation. Hopefully deliver us from the evil. Tempted to cross the line. A customer shows up across the street from where you live. And it's so easy to say, rather than being taken care of by someone who lives so far away, I can take care of you because I live just across the street. Don't listen to the tempter. Stay on track. Build on the rock. Look out for your own mind that would tell you your dreams can't come true. Look out for your own thoughts that would tell you that it's not going to work that well for you. Look out for that. Here's the next one. Look inside. Some of you have just started to develop your talents and your skills and your abilities. Some of you have done enough to reach this level, to reach these tables, to be in this room. But I promise you, if you go home and take another look inside, here's the question to ask. What else could I develop of my mind and my spirit and my talents and my ability that would make me more valuable to myself, to my family, to my organization, to Herbalife? What else could I do? When Mark invited me 20 years ago to travel the world with him, that was the question I asked. Do you suppose this invitation would be an open door for me to refine my skills and talent and health and become vital and become valuable to whoever I might meet based on Mark's invitation and the Herbalife family? That turned out to be a wise decision on my part. What else could I do? How far could I reach inside for something I haven't found yet? And that unique experience at that time when Mark gave me the invitation is what has sustained me now these last 20, 21 years traveling the world for Herbalife. And I'm always proud to say when I'm introduced, yes, I'm Jim Rohn. I travel the world for Herbalife. Here's the next one. Look up to the God that made us all, to a higher power that's still within reach. Draw on that spiritual part of human existence and human life. It'll work miracles. Once in a while I get a letter. Guess what it says? Dear Mr. Rohn, while you travel the world, please remember, we pray for you. I thought, wow. That's what I felt at 39,000 feet. When I was a little weary and tired, somebody in South Africa was saying a prayer for Jim Rohn. All of that unseen miracle stuff that we all touch at times in our lives. I'm asking you to look up and draw on that experience, that comfort, that uniqueness that makes us who we are. Here's what's next. Make these notes. The cooperation of home office staff and the distributors is going to be an incredible driving force. Now that I've met Michael Johnson and David and Greg, Matt, all the rest that have added to our staff, here's the sense I have and the promise I'll give you from Jim Rohn. I've got the experience to make the promise. Here it is. The home office is going to do their part. They're going to learn whatever they have to learn, change whatever they have to change, develop whatever they have to develop. It is my firm opinion that Michael Johnson and the rest have fallen in love with Herbalife and the idea of helping to change the nutritional habits of the world. They've done that. And being part of home office, my pledge is the same. Next, the Chairman's Club. Ladies and gentlemen, if you sit down and rest too long, become complacent, we lose the way. For the President's team out there with your organization, working consistently in your neighborhood and wherever you work, we're counting on you to help lead the way, solve problems, come up with answers, not just work tirelessly in your own behalf, but on behalf of Herbalife. Because as Herbalife goes, so we all go. We appreciate your contribution, your integrity. We appreciate your reputation. I know it's true. Not every President's team member is going to do the right thing. I know that. The law of averages says. But here's the key. Enough will that says we're going to be okay. Enough will that says we can go from the 58 countries we have to the 58 countries we want. So, President's team, what a responsibility. Thank you for making the sacrifice to be here. As you go home, part of our hopes and dreams for the future rest in your hands. And we know you're going to do the job, do it well, leading your organizations to incredible success. Thank you to the President's team. And to all of the tabulator team, if your destiny and your future is not clear, we all suffer. If you're not all inspired, we're a little bit weaker than we should be. For yourself, for your organization, recognition, finding a place to serve, your experiences, your influence. Incredible. Next, keep working on the philosophy and the attitude that will guide you to the success you want in Herbalife. There's no reason why you can't make all of your dreams come true right here. This is the place. When I met Mark Hughes and then he invited me on this journey, I said to myself, this is my best chance. Not just to do something, but to do something remarkable. And Mark gave me those 3 promises. If you haven't made the list, make them again. Mark promised me, number 1, someday we would influence the industry. If he was only here to see what has happened in just the last short while, Herbalife beginning to influence the industry. Second, he said, we'll build the finest leadership team in the world. And if he could see in person this room full of leaders that have gathered here, he would say, we did it. It was worth the price to pay, whatever we had to do to develop this leadership that has seen us through some tough times, that has helped to evangelize the world with the idea of nutrition, personal development, becoming better financially for your family and for yourself. Next, a chance if we work together to work miracles. If we take the past, if we're inspired by the future, work on the present, there isn't anything we can't accomplish.